في عالم الرياضة ومع اختلاف الاختصاصات تتنوع الألقاب اللي تطلق على النجوم، وكل لقب يطلق على رياضي وراه حكاية وراه سر وبرشا صنعة. ويبقى لقب الأمير أو لو برانس من أشهر الألقاب اللي أطلقت على رياضيين تألقوا في عدة ميادين. في كرة القدم لقب بالأمير مهاجم فريق أولمبيك دو مارسي ومنتخب الأوروغواي إنزو فرانشيسكولي. مهاجم المنتخب الفرنسي في الثمانينات دانييل برافو، أيضاً لقب بالأمير الصغير لو بوتي برانس. في عالم التنس فإنه روجيه فيدرير استحق بامتياز لقب أمير ويمبلدون لو برانس دو ويمبلدون، وهذا بسبب فوزه 7 مرات بالبطولة هذه. أما في عالم السيارات فإنه سائق الفورمولا 1 الكندي جيل فيلنوف كان أيضا لقب لسنوات بالأمير الصغير، وتوفى لو بتي برانس في سباق في بلجيكا سنة 1982. لكن يبقى أشهر أمير في تاريخ الرياضة نجم حلقتنا لليلة الملاكم نسيم حميد. ولقب الأمير أطلق على نسيم لزوز أسباب، الأول أصوله العربية اليمنية، والثاني تألقه الكبير في سن صغيرة على الرينج منذ كان ينافس على الألقاب في عالم الهواية.
Prince, at the age of 22, good-looking boy came along and take it off him in his 55th. What can I say? You're looking at legend soon to be. I mean, there's time to prove.
وحتى دخوله الاحتراف عام 1992 كان أكد أحقيته باللقب هذا، بما أنه في مبارياته الأولى في عالم الاحتراف صعيب أنه منافسيه ينجموا يكملوا المباريات معه، وعادة ما كان يطيحهم بالكو، وإلا الحكام كانوا يتدخلوا باش يوقفوا الماتشوات. وبعد فوزه باللقب الأوروبي في ماي 1994 أمام الإيطالي بالكاسترو، حافظ نسيم على اللقب متاعه أمام ملاكم إيطالي آخر هو أنطونيو بيكاردي نهار 17 أوت 1994.
For round 3 then, and well according to the predictions by Hamid in the local Sheffield papers, he said he's dominating, he could do it in 3 rounds. Well, we'll find out if he is an alley or not. But when Fakadi managed to land a bit of a swing, finally caught him with a punch, he went after him then, the Italian. He started going forward. He's got plenty of guts. Have a look at the unofficial scorecard, the ITV group here. That's about right, isn't it? It's a 10-8 the second round.
Yes, I would go along with that.
I don't think the points are going to matter, to be honest with you, Nicky. I think this, you know, it looks like it could be stopped. Maybe not by the cuts, which hopefully won't happen for Bacardi. But as the contest wears on, you never know. But I like the way he's trying to close in on Hamid. He's obviously learned from the video. He said he'd watched it. Oh dear! The southpaw left hand, straight as an arrow. Didn't travel very far, but he got the message, didn't he? But he got up again. Remember, he hasn't been counted out, but he has been stopped a few times. He tipped this round, and it looks as though he's going to do it too, because it's given him. He shouldn't permit himself a somersault then, but yes, he can. Because when he got up there, Picardi, well, he knew it was all over. Brave little guy, but just taken out by some very accurate and hard punching for a bantamweight, no question. Maybe some people have gone over the top with praise for him, but particularly himself. But for this contest, well, it was as near perfect as you expect him to be.
I've never seen any boxer, I think, that can punch so hard out of both stances, so therefore unorthodox, with such a variety of punches.
Referee called it off anyway. When he went down, his body just collapsed underneath him there. Yeah. 13 wins on the turn now.
And that wasn't an easy opponent, not an opponent to take out in 3 rounds.
Have a look at the first knockdown, Nicky. See that? That's a beautiful punch, wasn't it?
Textbook punch.
Yeah. Not a beautiful punch for the fellow that's receiving it, by the way, but bingo. Have another look. At least Hamid went to the corner to pay his respects after that, which was nice, after that taunting of the last round. So fair dues, he's learned.
Yeah, he disguises his punches
and
so
again,
well. Yeah.
Right through the middle there. With either hand, he takes a man out.
That's right, out of either stance.
See, he just couldn't cope with that.
He's got such great balance. His feet, as with all Brendan Ingle boys, their footwork is fantastic.
Yeah, he's strong on his feet, though. He gets the strength of punch from the feet as well, actually. He travels right up, doesn't he? Anchors himself.
Oh, yeah. He's got very powerful legs.
After 1 minute, 26 seconds of the third round, the referee has stopped the contest. Picardi in no position to defend himself. The winner, and still undefeated bantamweight champion of Europe, Prince Naseem Hamed.
وبعد ما حقق اللقب الأوروبي كبرت أحلام نسيم وطموحه ولا عالمي. ونهار 12 أكتوبر 1994 وفي مدينة شيفيلد وأمام منافس من جمهورية الدومينيكان هو فريدي كروز، جات الفرصة اللي استناها نسيم سنين. الرهان اللقب العالمي سوبر كوك WBC، والتفاصيل نشوفوها في كاو.
Would you please welcome Freddie Cruz. And his opponent in the blue corner, wearing the leopard skin trunks from the Yemen and Sheffield. He is undefeated in 13 professional contests, 11 coming by way of KO. He is the current bantamweight champion of Europe, Prince Naseem Hamed. At the weigh-in yesterday, Cruz scaled 8 stone 9 pounds, Hamed 8 stone 9.5 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a contest of 12 3-minute rounds for the vacant WBC Super Bantamweight Championship.
The formalities are over then. Let's join your big fight commentators, Jim Watt, and first of all say a very good evening to Reggie. Reg Guttridge.
Well, there's Larry O'Connell just giving them the final rundown. Now, in this, just to confuse us as always with the scoring, the referee will score if this goes to 12 rounds. with two British judges as well to help him, John Keane and Mickey Vann. Carries the title of the WBC International, which means that for those not rated in the top 10, it's a bit of a Mickey Mouse championship, but nonetheless, Naseem will claim it all right. So now, let's see if Cruz calling him a child. He actually gave him a peck on the cheek there at the press conference. It really fired up Naseem Hamed. He stole his thunder a little bit. But he cut down a lot of the window dressing when he came in the ring. He did vault over the rope, of course, but he left it at that. He's just getting rid of that coltish look now at 20, Hamed. And remember, this fella's only losses in the last 7 years have both been against world champions. Steve Robinson, who's watching at ringside from last June, and Wilfredo Vasquez, who's now still the WBA champion. That was in '92. It's only a majority decision. In fact, the judges only agreed in that fight on 2 rounds, so it shows you what kind of fight it was. Not the greatest of punchers on the record, Freddie Cruz, but certainly a good workman. He showed that with Robinson in Cardiff. Colourful gloves, haven't seen these for a long time. Yellow ones, it's introducing them now. Oh, what a good shot. To see him shaking in the opening round, that is news. Never been on the deck.
These shots are getting right through solidly, Reg. No problem at all from Hamed. He started so confidently and he's shaken up Cruz already twice in the first round.
See the way he switched there, Jim? He had a look down at Cruz's feet there to try and detract him. He's looking in the eyes 1 second and then switched it. He's so unpredictable.
I don't think I've ever seen a fighter with just so much confidence in what he's doing. Cruz is in bad trouble here.
Jim, this will be sensational if he stops this fella.
Cruz's legs are shaky, Reg. He hasn't shown the effects of the first couple of good attacks.
He's had 2 fights since he fought Robinson, a win and a draw, so he's not exactly on the slide, Freddie Cruz.
You can see his eyes, Reg, they're not clear yet. If Hamed keeps this pace going, he could have him over in the first round here. Cruz hasn't recovered from those punches yet.
8 stone 10 division, super bantamweight. Reflexes, as Barry McGuigan was saying, he's really got him.
But he's so strong as well, Reg. We have to remember he's come up a weight for this fight and he looks like the man. He looks like the bully, he's the stronger.
This is some start, isn't it, by Naseem, or nicknamed Naz locally. Well, it's not bad for a little boy in an opening round, Jim, is it? He says, all right, mate, you weren't as bad as I thought you were. I think you wanted to make up and be friends again there, Freddie Cruz. Manager Brendan Ingle, of course, in the corner. That's a boxing board inspector on the outside of the ropes. Well, I dare say he was pleased with that, Jim, again.
Yeah, well, if you wanted a decent start in a fight, Reg, that's the one you would have written down. I mean, that was a perfect start. Right from the off, he backed Cruz up. And he was just totally at the boss. It looked as though it was going to be all over. Cruz, who's normally of a smooth, well-cultured defence, didn't know where to go, didn't know how to cope.
Look at him, calm as a day at the office as far as he's concerned. He knocks around the game a lot, goes to gymnasium, goes to other fights, and I've never boxed as a senior amateur at all, but had a very good record as a junior, 7 schools championships, England youth. Hasn't lost actually since an amateur in '89, and that was a majority decision. So it's round 2 then, and scheduled for 12, but we're judging by the opening round. Well, can Freddie Cruz from the Dominican Republic stay the course or not?
I think Cruz has gone into the ring with the wrong idea in his mind, Reg. He's going to have to use this ring, box himself. He just wants to keep out of trouble for a round or so, get that head clear, get some confidence back. I mean, that must have wiped every bit of confidence he had that first round.
good old campaigner, Freddie Cruz. As you say, it's such a shock to see him under fire so early as that. I don't think he realised what had hit him at a couple of stages there.
See, the thing with Hamed, Reg, nobody else does it the way he does it, so how do you prepare for this kind of attack? He's just so strong, so unpredictable.
He's got the modest little logo on the back of his leopard skin trunks there, to be king. Doesn't mess about, Naseem, does he? He said he wants to be the first Briton to hold 4 world championships, different weights, obviously.
I mean, Cruz hasn't landed one decent punch yet. Just totally been put on the defensive.
The only fancy touch so far from Cruz is the tassels on his trunks.
See, Hamed has just natural power. He doesn't have to set himself. Even when he has 1 foot off the floor, he still has the power to hurt.
Strikes from such awkward angles, isn't it? Must be very frustrating to fight against him, mustn't he?
I'm not thinking frustrating, Reg. I'm thinking painful at the moment, because every punch he throws has an impact on Cruz. I think he would settle for a bit of frustration if this pain would stop. I mean, his face is badly banged up already. See, he's reached the stage where Cruz is actually afraid to lead with anything because he knows he's going to be countered. Hamed just so sharp and so strong.
Switching stance occasionally just to add to it all. Coming up for round 3 then. And Naseem having now already stamped his authority in the opening round. He took his time a little bit in the second. I think he's paying some respect surely to Freddie Cruz, who's been around so long at world levels. With the old trooper's pride, it doesn't pack a punch at the moment.
I mean, Cruz is just going to have to box behind Hamed for a round or so, just to try and get his wits about him, see if he can solve. Pointless trying to lead too often. He can't solve Hamed out, and every time he leads, his heart's not in it, and he's been punished by a strong counter.
Cruz has lost his gym basically all at the beginning of his career before he'd blossomed into a good pro.
See Hamed switching from orthodox to southpaw and back again.
Spent some years working in the gymnasium, of course. Only his 14th pro fight this now for Hamed, against a man who's had 56.
I mean, it's looking, Reg, it's going to take somebody a little bit special to beat Hamed.
Somebody who can fathom out his style and dig a bit.
Yeah, it's got to be somebody with enough punching power to trouble him. Cruz doesn't have that. That's why it was always a safe match.
No, shoved him over there. He's right, the referee, Jim, isn't he, there, Larry O'Connell? Cut that out, son.
I mean, Cruz was always a safe chance to take because he total lack of power. But nobody believed Hamed would be treating him quite like this.
Well, we just waited for it to move on to that one. Now that was good timing by Hamed there. Just works his way along the ropes, waited for Cruz to move to his left and nailed him.
And Cruz having absolutely no success whatsoever. This must be breaking his heart here.
I should recall that when he was interviewed earlier on, then Naseem said, well, I might stop him in 4th or 5th. Well, let's see if he fancies himself as a bit of a Muhammad Ali in predicting. I'm glad he's cut out a lot of the sort of window dressing in the fight now, Jim. Even coming into the ring, he was looking just that much more older and matured, wasn't he, Naseem?
Yeah, I thought he looked a little bit keyed up at the start of the fight, almost approaching pre-fight nerves. But right from the first bell, I lost that idea. The only way to score that, Reggie. Cruz hasn't landed one decent punch on Hamed yet.
No, and they give him the full point scoring there, the British judges and referee.
Well, just as I've said that, he's landed a decent little left hook. I wonder if that'll just anger Hamed.
Unofficial score there by Barry McGuigan, which we do on ITV, but I'm sure the judges have got that the same way.
Well, Cruz has got through a couple of times here. Hamed's come back with better, but at least he's landed a couple of shots.
Oh dear, there we go again. 2 falls and a submission. Oh, hello, we got... Well, that's one time he might deserve a bit of applause, to do it in the middle of a fight like that, gentlemen. He's got more front than Blackpool.
Definitely a unique talent, this little fellow. Well, Cruz landed a couple of decent shots. We'll see if it's done anything for his confidence. I wouldn't expect it has.
No, he's well fired up for this one. The worst thing that Cruz's manager could have done there was play games with him in a press conference and calling off, come only to fight a child. What have they done to me?
Hamed's dropped down a gear again, just keeping himself in control, actually enjoying himself now.
He's a bit exciting when he unloads properly, but he starts to do a bit of posing between those little bursts of punches.
I would actually like to see Hamed launch an attack and sustain it.
Yeah, I would too, Jim. That's what he's got to do in world class now.
Well, Reggie isn't world class. I mean, this fellow a few months ago was challenging for the World Championship. We've got to say he isn't world class now.
Yeah, that's what I meant actually, that he's now in world class and he's got to do it. Oh, look at that. He can lead with an uppercut. I mean, not many instructors advise that from the southpaw stance. And it's round 5 now. And if you've joined us late, Naseem Hamed, need I say, the man in the leopard trunks who switches style, the European super bantamweight champion. That's the 8-stone 10 against Freddie Cruz from the Dominican Republic, the man who gave Steve Cruz a decent fight anyway for the World Championship last June. And well, really you can count on one hand the decent punches that Cruz has been able to get through in this first 5 rounds of a scheduled 12 for the WBC quotes International unquotes Championship, which is vacant at the moment.
I think Cruz realises now, Reg, he doesn't have the power to trouble this young fella, so what else is he going to do? He can't land punches enough to outpoint him, so he's just going to try and hang in there as long as he can, put up some sort of show. But it must be breaking his heart. He's had no success whatsoever.
few wags in the crowd already, Jim. Not bad for a lad there shouting it out in here in Sheffield. I mean, he really is doing a quiet number on him, isn't he, as he wants here, Ahmed. You wouldn't think this is the same guy that fought Robinson and Wilfredo Vasquez, a WBA champion. And that one was a photo finish as well. All right, he's aged a bit since then, but it's all about style and power and the difficulty in trying to hit this fellow, Ahmed.
Well, Ahmed has said he wants to move up through the weights and win world titles at different weights. Well, he has that natural strength and power. And I mean, you could see him actually going up as far as lightweight. And just a style that nobody's ever seen before.
We always think we've seen it all in this business, but this is a new one, Jim, isn't it? You couldn't imagine any comparison with anybody in style.
And he's not any fancy Dan. He can fight. He has natural power. And when he whips those punches in, they're vicious shots. He doesn't always sustain the punches. It's as though he's quite happy to let fights go for a couple of rounds.
Got another good round there. Well, he's got that right, Steve Robinson. Summed that up pretty well, Jim, didn't he? Sixth round. Well, he's got to lay just a bit more leather on him now, Ahmed, and he's got to start unloading if he wants to be the very first to stop Cruz, which within the boxing trade they know is a good performance.
I was always amazed how easily he won the European title against Neville Castro. I mean, we really thought that would be a tough little fight for him, but I mean, he did exactly as he pleased, and he's actually having an easier time, if you like, with Cruz here. He's just allowing to take place what he wants to take place. Everything is under his control here.
He worked that punch early on. Right through the middle of that protected guard, he thought there, Cruz. He's banging trouble here. He's going to do well to get over the round, I think. His legs are going a bit.
Looks like it's all over here, Reg.
He's got time to do it too, Hamid. In the sixth round. See, now he's unloading. That's good stuff. This is a brave fellow, Jimmy. He wants to go out with his pride, if nothing else.
Yeah, that leading punch was a finish of itself, Reg. I mean, Hamid actually seems to have the ability to change the direction of a punch after he starts to throw it. That looked as though it was coming out as a jab, and he just switched it into an uppercut, bang on the chin. I've never seen that done before.
His head almost departed from his shoulders the way he brought that up. This is one game, fellow Cruz, and I'll tell you what, he's got to be, because it's all over. Referee's quite right. He's seen the man wobble. He knows he's banging trouble. Hamid's fought, I must say, brilliantly in that round. The way he unloaded the punches, we've been waiting for him to do that, and when he did it with style and certainly a great deal of power. The very first man then to stop 57th fight this was for Freddie Cruz. I doubt if he protests, because I think Larry O'Connell, the referee, did him a favour there, because he'd taken enough stick. So he's now got another little championship to add to his European here, the WBC International. 14th win on the turn, 12th stoppage. Again, this is where it all started, Jim.
Yeah, well, it's as though he set off to throw a jab and then switched it into an uppercut. There he goes, dips, bang. That was a beautiful punch. That was a finisher in its own right, that punch. Cruz did well to recover from that. And it's nice to see some class refereeing. Cruz had nothing left here. Hamid was doing as he pleased, as he was from the first bell, and the time was right. Hadn't won a round, had hardly landed a punch. Referee Larry O'Connell picked the perfect time to call it over. And that was a tremendous performance That's his second title in the second weight division. We're not winning world titles yet, Reg, but it's well within his grasp to pick up a couple of world titles if he boxes like this.
Well, there you are. He's entitled to permit himself a bit more than a smile, isn't he? Though I don't blame him, Hamed. I've been critical of him in the past when I thought his showboating was a bit over the top, but that was a real good performance.
2 minutes and 3 seconds of round 6. The referee has stopped the contest. Cruz being in no position to defend himself. The winner and new WBC International Super Bantamweight Champion, Prince Naseem Ahmed.
So Naseem, the champ, and we'll go to a quick break.
Excellent performance. You're really sharp tonight, and that is the first time, of course, that Freddie Cruz has ever been stopped in his 57th fight.
Well, you've seen it for yourself, Gary. The punching power's there, the speed, the accuracy. He called me a child. I showed him I'm a man tonight, and he's going home knowing that I'm going to become a king.
في 6 روندات طيح نسيم منافسه بالكاو وأصبح بطل العالم. وبعد شهر واحد عاود طلع نسيم على الرينج في محاولة أولى للحفاظ على اللقب متاعه أمام الملاكم لوريانو راميريز باديا اللي يحب يفك اللقب لنسيم من جهة ويحب ينتقم من ولد بلاده فريدي كروز من جهة أخرى، والتفاصيل نشوفوها في كاو.
Gymnastic routine from Prince Naseem Ahmed. Here's your MC for the night. It's Mike Goodall.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is being sanctioned and conducted under the rules of the World Boxing Council, whose supervisor at ringside is Mr. Simon Block of London. The British Boxing Board of Control steward is Lord Brooks of Tremorfa, and the officials appointed for this contest by the WBC are the judges at ringside, Daniel van der Wiel of Belgium, Mr. John Coyle of Wolverhampton. The referee in charge of the action, who also scores the contest, is Mr. Mickey Van from Leeds. The timekeeper,
so just to throw
Mr.
to the
Gordon
commentators.
Pape of Swansea, and the matchmaker, Mr. Ernie Fossey of London. My lords, ladies and gentlemen, Saturday night is Big Fight Night, live on ITV. And tonight from the National Ice Rink Cardiff, Frank Warren and the Sports Network present the Grand Slam of 4 championship contests for 5 titles. Sponsored by Empress Car Sales, and proudly present a contest of 12 3-minute rounds for the WBC International Super Bantamweight Championship. Between introducing the boxers, fighting from the red corner, coming from the Dominican Republic, a professional record from 18 contests of 17 wins, with just 1 draw, 7 wins coming by way of KO. He's the former undefeated IBF Intercontinental Bantamweight Champion, the challenger for the title, Ramirez. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, in the blue corner, wearing the leopard trunks, coming from Sheffield and the Yemen. He is undefeated in 14 contests, 12 contests coming by way of KO. He comes to the ring this evening, the undefeated Bantamweight Champion of Europe and the International Super Bantamweight Champion, making his first defence of the title. Ladies and gentlemen, Prince Naseem Ahmed. At the official weigh-in, Ramirez went scale Riyadh 8 stone 7 3/4 pounds. Ahmed 8 stone 10 pounds. The WBC International Super Bantamweight Championship.
So the pre-fight formalities are over. Let's join your big fight commentary team. It's Jim Watt, and he's alongside the maestro. Good evening to Reg Guttridge.
Well, there it is. The referee, Mickey Van, he won't stand for any nonsense here, but he was quite controlled by his standards, actually, in that Naseem had. He's compared with you, Bank, he's little Lord Fauntleroy, I think. But certainly got an unusual gum shield there. White in the middle, and I think it's black and red. Difficult to tell. Looks a bit like Bugs Bunny when he does a smile as he can down the aisle there. Now, it's all putting the puzzle together, this jigsaw, with this. See how Ramirez, who can't be that bad if he's unbeaten, can give us any answers. Well, that was the point. In the gymnasium here, we checked on Ramirez. He sparred orthodox, but it was said he was a southpaw. But Ahmed actually asked me that, and I said I wasn't sure, but I think he is. And he said, good, because I like fighting southpaws. I think he likes fighting anybody. The man is good, and he loves the acclaim. And as Barry McGuigan was saying, his last show with another fighter from the Dominican Republic, Freddie Cruz, was absolutely brilliant. I don't know whether this fellow will provide answers, because he's never really been in with major names, although he held an IBF version of what's called a sort of intercontinental title. That's the one below the major title. So although he sparred orthodox in the gymnasium, apparently he is a natural southpaw, this fellow.
See, I think we need to see Hamed against a fighter who's on the up, whose career is rising, who really fancies the game. His last two victories have been tremendous, and the manner of them has been really breathtaking, but you have to see him against someone who really still fancies the game. It was two men who had been well past their best, so it'd be nice to see Hamed against somebody. Maybe Ramirez can answer a few questions here. He looks lively enough, and he's making the Hamed miss, so he's certainly sharp enough.
Certainly Ramirez's hairstyle looks handy for him, Jim, almost like a head guard, the thickness of that hair. Oh well, just one of them from one of the older school. But he got down to business so well in Sheffield, didn't he, Hamed, and hoping he's going to keep that. And, you know, all the tricks he does, it's very attractive, and he can pull it off, and it's marvellous the way he gets away from punches all the time, a real Houdini job.
Yeah, he has tremendous reflexes. I mean, he does things that you wouldn't want boys in the gymnasium to do, but he's so good at doing them, he gets away with it. Tremendous reflexes. But he's missing, and he's not bullying Ramirez. He's not managed to bully this man in the first minute or so, so maybe a couple of questions that will be answered.
Well, there's one thing for sure, the world crowd are not particularly on his side. They cheered the Dominican Republic guy there, who incidentally lives in Barcelona actually now. First visit to Britain. When he stands his ground there, Jim Hamed, you know, he's really such a competent boxer. He doesn't need all the frippery to go with it.
Yeah, but I suppose if you want to become a big name like in the entertainment world, you need a little bit extra, and I think he's got that.
Just a short, sharp word there from the referee, Mickey Van, back to your corner. So he's been with Brendan Ingle now, Hamed, since he was 7 years old. He loves the game. He's always in gymnasiums, trains very hard indeed, goes and watches his pals. He's just in love with boxing and success at the age of 20. There he is. Make me look pretty for the cameras. I bet he's saying that. And he's not been beyond the 6 rounds. 11 fights inside 4 rounds, this fellow. Super bantamweights, 8 stone 10 pounds, 122 pounds. That's between bantam and featherweight. diptych pencil he was using there. It's a bit unusual. So second round then. Going to try and do his usual catch-as-catch-can job here, Hamed, Jim.
Yeah, he's just trying to draw a lead at the moment, that's what he's doing. Yeah. But in his last two fights against quality opposition, he's managed to bully the opposition right from the first bell. In the European fight, he floored the opponent straight away as the first bell rang. Well, he hasn't done that here. A fairly quiet start by his own standards, but he's not been hit. He's just a little bit untidy.
It's amazing, he has no occupational fear at all, is he?
He's not getting his own punches home yet.
I don't think this fella cares anything about the showbiz side, but he wants to get on with it.
Well, his movements are sharp enough. The couple of times Hamed has tried to draw him into a mistake, he's managed to pull his head out of range. So at least his movements are sharp enough, so Hamed is going to have to go looking for this fellow. Step up a little bit closer.
Oh, he meant that one, didn't he? Just a little touch of the needle there, Hamed. So I don't know if that's the way you want it. Oh, good shots, Jim, aren't they?
Well, once he goes to work, you always get the feeling he can do it when he decides it's time. But a couple of points in this fight, he's looked a little bit untidy.
Jim, that was the sort of shot that he caught Freddie Cruz with that turned the whole fight, that lead uppercut.
Yeah, but Ramirez is still moving nice and sharply. Yeah. He's not managing to land any counters, but he's making Hamed miss. So at least he's going to draw out a kind of decent performance from him. Hamed's stepping a little bit closer now, trying to get that jab on target.
It's almost in slow motion that, isn't it? Look.
I'm just trying to draw the lead.
See, the crowd will go, I knew they'd do that. Into the third round. Very little at the start of the opening round, hardly a clean punch landed, but there was just a spell there from Hamed. He tries to knock people out with every punch he throws. That's why he's sort of taken his time. We've seen him do this in longer distance fights before. This old lad Ramirez at 28, he boxed in the Los Angeles Olympics, I think you remember that. He got to the quarter-finals. He didn't turn pro till he was 23.
The thing is, Ramirez hasn't shown an awful lot of ambition himself in the first couple of rounds. I think he realises this early just how difficult it is to catch Hamed. But if he wants some success, he's going to have to step in himself and try to get these punches off. He's a little bit apprehensive with his own punches, Ramirez.
Well,
he's just poking that right hand out. That's not, you couldn't call that a jab.
He knew what happened to his countryman, Freddie Cruz.
That was better.
Oh, that was better.
That was better.
You see, now he took a decent shot. Oh, that was naughty. A definite push there. The crowd don't like that.
The referee has got to do something about that. I mean, that was both elbows in his face almost. That was outrageous. Mickey Van has to have a word with him about this.
Yeah, I said from the start, he won't stand for it. He handled the Bruno and Lewis fight. He's handled many top world championships. So he said to him, OK, he's given him as long enough rest as he wants. Oh, now we're going to get a little bit of spite entering into it now.
Yeah, I think he lost his temper a bit there. I think he's annoyed himself. He knows by his own standards that this is not his best form. So far he's been able to back up his boast, and I'm sure he probably will do here, but I'd like to see it just a bit cleaner. He's moving to quality stuff. That was the best punch he's landed so far. That was a good little solid. Another one, same punch. Oh, he's turned away. He doesn't want it, this guy, does he? What's happened there? I don't know if I took it. I get the impression there's it's possible a tooth has been loosened with that punch. Really? Oh, well, that wasn't. His jaw was loosened with that. He just flopped over there like wet laundry falling on the floor, but there was something wrong with his tooth there. No, he doesn't want it. I thought he didn't. Yeah, I get the impression that tooth is... He's quit in the third round. Well, he didn't expect that, or we didn't expect that. I suppose Hamid says, yes, I did expect that. But Jimmy, you were quite right. It looked as though he had a problem with a tooth there as he turned away. It must hit with some strength, this guy, you know. I mean, he's a rough old customer, Ramirez. He's been around a bit and unbeaten. Admittedly, as I said at the start, not with major names, but a good old pro. There, our dad gives him a Chris as well. Yeah, well, probably not his smoothest performance, but when you don't box your best, it's nice if you can finish it with one shot, and that's exactly what he's done. The finishing shot was a beauty. The punch that set it up looked to me, the way he looked away and pointed to his mouth, it was as though maybe a tooth had been loosened with that shot. This is the one, bangs it. That was right in the mouth, and that's when he turned away, and it's quite possible there was some damage to maybe his tooth with that punch. I'm not sure, but that's what it looked like. Yeah, the referee did well there, but turned him round and, you know, made sure that he wanted to carry on. He couldn't just stop it because he had his back to the opponent. Yeah, well, I think after that punch, he didn't really want to go on. And the finishing punch was a beauty. Bang. Oh, bingo, he had no option there, did he? The lights were out for it.
3 روندات فقط كانوا كافيين لنسيم باش يأكد تفوقه على منافسيه في وزن السوبر كوب، ومرة أخرى أكد الملاكم اليمني أحقيته باللقب متاعو الأمير. في فيديو الأسبوع نواصل اكتشاف أعنف وأقوى لكو في تاريخ رياضة الملاكمة.
Now, if Harold Letterman's scorecard is in line with those of the official scorers, Castillo's got an uphill fight on his hands.
What did I say about body punching? That head didn't punch as good as Castillo?
Well, maybe Castillo doesn't take him as well as Hatton right now.
This has been ruled a knockdown.
It was a knockdown.
As Castillo went for it, and he stays on the canvas, and this fight is over.
Recuperate. I think if I could... Another rocket left hook! A sensational left hook by De La Hoya. Again, he set it up with body punches. Vargas jumps up off.
Already Kirkland has accomplished something not many people can do. He's backing Alfredo Angulo up.
Oh,
hard right hand by Angulo, and down goes Kirkland. 30 seconds into the fight.
What a right hand.
Yes, it was.
Wow. Cracking left hook.
Right hand has staggered him. And Antion is down for the second time in the round. He's in trouble.
Keeping him alive in a fight in which he could easily have been gone by now. Straight right hand.
And another body shot that hurt Rodriguez.
Down goes Rodriguez. What a left hook. He won't make it up from that.
No way.
Arturo got him.
Oh, a foul shot. Dividends as this fight goes on.
Left hook right now. He's down. The champion wobbly. Salito caught him with the right hand.
Big right hand from Jackson there, landed on McClellan, and McClellan's good shot.
Oh, he's got him with a left hook. Jackson, spread eagled half out of the ring. McClellan.
His defences are not as tight. These are really dangerous times for him.
He's going through a bad spell in this round. He's wilting a bit. Oh, and there's a right hand. Is that going to finish the argument? Macaronelli clambers to his feet with a count of 7, but he's all out. He looks exhausted. It is stopped. That is an absolute catastrophe, really, for Enzo Macaronelli. Everything drained away from him, and the 20-1 on favourite has been shocked and stunned, and Ola Afolabi.
Judges seeing, because that covered rounds he laid off, he get his guy confidence, and he's getting hit. He just landed it. So Tyson is becoming Tyson.
And Marquez is hell-bent right now. Oh! Whoa! It is over.
Got this new trainer holding Rubio, and he's hurt by a shot, and he saw another huge left, and down goes Amir Khan again. Oh, he's all over the place. Oh, he's going to have to be stopped, surely.
Massive left hook. I don't think he's going to get up. Ian John Lewis counts him out already, and Kessler, with a one-punch finish in the fourth, is back on top.
Oh, he's got him! He's got him! He got Canis, and he's got him! Is it Oliver McCall all over again? It is, and Lewis has gone! Lewis has gone! It's another upset of immense proportions. This has been billed as thunder in Africa, and the thunder and the lightning and Tempest have...
They're telling him not to counterpunch. Boom! Will Rahman get up, or have the tables been turned? Is it reversed? 7, 8, 9. It's over. Lennox Lewis got revenge.
There's a hook by Roddick, and he may have hurt Morrison.
استنونا الجمعة الجاية في كاو مع أكثر فرجة وأكثر متعة مع الأمير نسيم حميد.